So I didn't really start out with intentions specifically of being an entrepreneur. It was something which was kind of really came about from purpose and came about from really trying to solve a problem that I saw. It wasn't something I wanted to jump into. I was just really in love with the technology, and that kind of sort of drove me into the entrepreneurial journey. So I was really kind of driven into entrepreneurship sort of around the problem that we were trying to solve. I sort of fell in love with the technology of Nextflow and how it was solving a problem for me personally. I really wanted to really share with the world that solution and really put it into as many people's hands as possible. I saw sort of forming the company, forming Seqera Labs was really like the way to do that. So we decided to create Seqera Labs really several years after we'd been working on the open source project. So we'd been working on Nextflow for around 3 years at the time. We started to get some traction. Pharma companies were reaching out to us, for example, and we kind of saw there was an opportunity there. It's really led to the creation of Seqera Labs in around 2018. I was still working on my PhD. My co-founder was still sort of working as an academic researcher. So really from that moment on, we decided to really kind of take the leap to jump in, and really it's going to be an amazing journey since then. So Seqera Labs was formed by myself and my co-founder Paolo. Really kind of building out from there, it's very difficult, particularly when you're trying to hire as a small startup, particularly in sort of tech space. Engineering talent has been very difficult to acquire recently, so it was kind of a difficult sort of mission early on to try and achieve that. But very lucky, and we were able to hire some fantastic engineers and some fantastic people. I think doing it is really inspiring them around the solution that you have, around the impact that you're having. I think the open source project for us helped a lot in terms of that. And I think sort of from then, we're sort of hiring now more of the management team. It does make things a little bit easier. You have that traction, but in saying so, you still have to really inspire the people with what you're doing, and hopefully that they can kind of come along with you for that journey. So in terms of strategic decision, I think the most important one was really around the business model that we had. We're an open source company, so we have this kind of core technology which is used by tens of thousands of scientists around the world. But then monetizing that, it's kind of a difficult decision in the direction that you want to take that. We decided to create essentially a management platform around the open source software. And kind of that decision and how we decided to license that, but also price that was really kind of key early on, and that was something that allowed us to really get into some of the very large pharmaceutical accounts that we have and really kind of grow our customer base sort of very quickly over those few years. So it's kind of key strategic decision, but kind of paid off sort of really well. So I think starting out, the best advice I got given was really about tenacity. If you think about when you start pitching to investors or even start trying to hire the first people, you'll hear a lot of no's. And I think that, one of the key things is around understanding that really you have to have a lot of belief in your own idea, particularly around your own technology, and really being able to handle a lot of that, handle a lot of those no's that get given to you. Beyond that, once you've kind of got beyond that, you've got some traction. One of the things that really the best advice is really about hiring great leaders. What you ideally want to be able to do is be an expert in the technology and really hire people who have done the business building piece before. And by hiring those fantastic leaders, you can really build a great organization. So my own background was more in biology and also biotechnology, interest in informatics. And a lot of that background is kind of more on technical level. I think that being a technical sort of expert in your field is obviously essential for creating a technology company. So what you really want to immerse yourself in is the kind of startup culture. I really jumped into podcasts or trying to understand everything that was happening around that. This allowed me to have the language to speak to investors or to kind of learn a whole lot about business. So just kind of immersing yourself in that, whether that's through reading or learning from online materials and the like, attending events and such. That really kind of was a big sort of step up in my own journey. So the first thing I've really learned from that is really around the importance of building a product that people want. If you build a product that people want, it can mask a lot of the, say, other deficiencies that you may have. It's this kind of saying that startups succeed in spite of their weaknesses. And by building a product people want, really reaching that product market fit, it'll kind of drag you through a lot of the difficulties that you have, and particularly as a startup, things you may not be experienced in itself. So the number two thing is learning how to sell. We're always selling, whether that's selling to customers or selling to potential employees, selling to investors. So kind of learning those skills and understanding that will also get you a long way. I think the final thing is really about how important relationships are. I was really surprised coming from a kind of science where you think it's relatively open and the like. The relationships you've been able to build and through building a startup, whether it's with regards to investors, with your management team, with employees, with kind of customers as well, have been so critical to our success. So kind of thinking about those relationships and you'll be surprised how far they can get you as well. So I really think it's important to enjoy the journey. It's not necessarily about a destination. People think when you create a startup that it's about some kind of outcome, but really enjoying the journey is a key thing. I think for us it's very hard to predict exactly how that journey is going to be, what the outcome is going to be to that, and for us it still feels relatively early with regards to that. But if you're able to enjoy that experience, really learn a lot along the way. I think as a startup founder in particular, you're exposed to so many different aspects, whether that's you're running sales yourself, or you're setting up marketing, or you're setting up HR, things that you would never even have thought that you'd be doing. If you can enjoy that kind of journey and kind of take it as a way to learn and to really grow personally, I think it's kind of the best way to do it, and something definitely see as very valuable. So it's just the beginning for Seqera Labs. If we think about what we're trying to achieve in terms of bringing large-scale multi-omic analysis to every scientist, I feel there's a lot of improvements that we still want to make, particularly with regards to accessibility, really enabling that infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, cluster infrastructure for all those scientists everywhere in the world. Also thinking about the product roadmap in terms of how we can stretch out beyond the large-scale analysis and thinking about things that are going on with regards to interactive analysis, reporting, data management, etc. And then thinking about the customers that we want to serve. Some of our customers are doing really fantastic things, 23andMe, Oxford Nanopore, AstraZeneca, really helping them achieve their goals and really taking them to the next level and improving things for life sciences generally.